You've got mail. Vivian was in her office working on some files when she got a sudden email. BII High School Reunion for Class of 2008. Instantly catching her attention, she opened it up. Hello friends, classmates, and teachers. Hope you're all doing well. It's hard to believe it's been 12 years since we graduated from high school. Looking forward to meeting again and recalling the memories of the good old days. Wish to see you there. Vivian scanned the email. The party was being hosted at the Grand BII Silvergate Hotel at the Loop on Friday night. She was quite surprised by the invitation. She didn't have contact with anyone from high school anymore, and there was no name or number. Who had sent her this email? She quickly logged on to BII Book and searched for a couple of her old friends, finally contacting Isabel. Back in high school, they used to hang out all the time. Hey, Isabel, I was wondering if you got the invitation to the high school reunion? Yeah, I got it. Can't wait to go. Those were the best times of my life. You're going, right? I'm not so sure, but I'll try to make it. Vivian had both good and bad memories from high school, and she really didn't want to go. But then she thought, what if Kevin comes? What if this was a chance she could finally meet him again? So the next Friday night, Vivian dressed up and arrived to the party. She immediately caught sight of a few familiar faces. But only a few students and next to no teachers were here. Probably Kevin wouldn't come either. Vivian, is that you? Isabel, how are you? And is that a baby bump? Yeah, it's my second. 2 kids, wow, good for you. Come on, the others are there. Vivian looked over at the lounge. Dylan. He used to be the stud. He was tall and slim, but now he was buff and brute. Carter. Vivian used to think he was quite handsome back then. But it seemed now he gained quite some weight and lost quite some hair. A lot could happen over 12 years. Hey guys, what's up? Vivian, doing good. What about you? All of a sudden, the classmates were joined by another. Hi everyone! Vivian looked at Jessica. Wait, what? She was the prettiest and also one of the meanest girls back then. And she still looked 16 and young? Guess some people age and some people don't. As everyone started gossiping, Vivian passed a glance back when she suddenly saw someone step through the door. Her heart started to race. She couldn't believe it. It was Kevin. Everyone was surprised to see him. Kevin, where did you go? Where were you all these years? It's like you vanished before graduation. We missed you a lot, man. Kevin chuckled. You guys still remember me? I had some family issues I had to deal with. That's when Isabella nudged the others. Look who decided to show up. Everyone turned around to see Mrs. Teresa, their teacher, walking towards them with a smirk. It's so nice to get to meet all my students again. How is everyone? Tell me, how is life? What do you all do? Jessica was the first to stand out, as always. I'm a journalist at the BII Politan. So she was pretty and used to spread gossip before, and now she's still pretty and sells her gossip. I took over my father's business. I run his restaurant now, Carter added. So he was partying on his father's money back then, and now he's still partying on his father's money. I run my own gym. I'm a fitness trainer, Dylan said. I'm a marketing analyst at the BII Corp, Vivian said. Mrs. Teresa nodded. Good for you all. Then she stopped at Isabel. What about you, Isabel? I'm a housewife. Oh, so you do nothing. At least you got married. What does your husband do? Is he a construction worker or a food cart salesman? No, he's a cab driver. Typical, Mrs. Teresa said with a snicker. Isabel fell quiet. When Jessica spoke up, Isabel, you're the lucky one. I'm jealous of you. You have the perfect life with the perfect family. I wish I was in your place, but no, I'm over 30 now and still looking for someone. Everyone let out a chuckle as Mrs. Teresa finally turned to Kevin. Kevin, how is your mother? She left work before your graduation. We had so much difficulty hiring another good cleaning lady. Where does your mother work now? Is she the one who's going to be cleaning up after this party? That won't be necessary. I've arranged for this party and for the cleaners as well. The smirk on Mrs. Teresa's face suddenly disappeared. What? You've arranged this reunion at a hotel like this? After Kevin's father passed away, all the family's responsibilities fell upon his mother. It was a depressing time for her, but she held strong to raise her son. She didn't get married again or even consider it, only for him, and worked 2 jobs to afford her family, one at a cafe and another as a cleaner at the BII Academy. A few years into working there, when Kevin reached of age, on her request, the principal of the BII Academy admitted him to the school due to his mother's good reputation. But it was since then that Kevin's struggles begun, trying to cope in the new environment. The BII Academy was where wealthy kids, a few middle-class kids, but no working class went. Kevin was the only odd one out. When some of the kids in his class learned his mother was the school's cleaner, they all started to mock him. Hey, watch this. I'm gonna get this in one shot. Dude, don't make a mess now, otherwise Kevin's mom is gonna get mad. So what? That's her job, isn't it? My dad donates to the school every year. I think we could all use some privileges. Kevin sat there scribbling in his notebook as the kids spoke on and on, trying to provoke him. But that was when he heard another voice. It was Vivian. Didn't your father claim bankruptcy this year? Where did he donate to this school from? Even the janitor that works at his 5-star hotel pays more taxes than him. You know what that makes your father, right? Vivian loudly asked, "What do you call someone who files bankruptcy?" In a rage, the guys got up and went out of the room as Vivian sat down beside Kevin. Don't listen to them, they're just full of it. Vivian was an ordinary girl from a middle-class family. She was really kind and nice, and over the school year had become friends with him. She always hurried to sit next to him during their science and math classes. She wasn't too great at the subjects, so Kevin used to let her cheat just a little from his paper. Kevin, you're like a genius. I've been trying to solve this for hours last night. It was pretty simple. It was simple? You must be a mad scientist. Would you mind teaching me? Are you sure you want to learn from a mad scientist? Deep down inside, Kevin had a crush on Vivian, but he never built the courage to tell her. But it was one day that Vivian invited him to her birthday party. Kevin was quite excited to go, but for the next week straight, he only wondered about one thing. What gift would he get her? So he thought of a quirky idea. He made a wooden puzzle for her and wrote a small note. If you can solve this, there's a surprise for you. However, that night, when he went to her house, he was a bit taken aback by how well-to-do her family was. There was quite a lavish party going on, and everyone was dressed their best, presenting her with tons of gifts. Looking down at his own clothes, his gift, he knew it was nothing compared to everything else she must have gotten, and Kevin could probably never be with a girl like her. So he anonymously left his small gift on the porch and left. From that day, he tried to avoid Vivian. He kept to himself, but of course, no one spared joking about him. Every day after everyone left school, Kevin waited for his mother to be off work so they could go home together. And sometimes, when all the other students left, he too would assist her and mop the floors. "Mom, do I really have to stay in this school?" "Kevin, if you do a good job here and reach somewhere in your life, then I won't have to do this anymore." "But can't I just go to a public school like before?" "No, Kevin, if your father were alive, he would have wanted this for you, and I want you to have the best education." So Kevin tried to focus on his studies, but things weren't easy, because it wasn't just the students who mocked at him, but also one of his teachers. At the BII Academy, there were some teachers who didn't pay him much attention, some teachers who were nice to him, but one teacher in particular that was especially mean to him, Mrs. Teresa. It was towards the end of the year that one day, while in Mrs. Teresa's class, that Kevin had accidentally spilled his water bottle in her room. He was about to pick it up when she suddenly became furious. "Kevin, what have you done?" "I'm sorry, Mrs. Teresa, I'll get the tissues." "No, someone call for Kevin's mother." As Mrs. Teresa yelled at him, Kevin fell silent. He felt so humiliated. When she had his mother come to the room and clean the floors right in front of him, he was devastated as everyone watched him. After that day, Kevin didn't talk to anyone. And it was sometime before graduation day that he took his diploma and left the school. He neither attended the ceremony nor kept in touch with anyone. To everyone else, Kevin simply vanished. Kevin smiled at Mrs. Teresa. "My mother is doing well. I recently bought her a home and asked her to retire, but she's opened her own bakery. And you?" 12 years ago, whilst everyone mocked him and said so many hurtful things to him, little did they know that Kevin's life would shift so much in the coming years. After graduation, Kevin gave his best into pursuing what he enjoyed. He got a degree in computer science, while he invested himself in creating a software through which people could remotely learn no matter where they were or who they were. And when he made it public, it became one of the best-selling applications on the market. It was in a blink of an eye Kevin's life changed, and he owed it all to his mother who had brought him this far today. Now, she was living the life she wanted, and she was happy seeing Kevin live the life he deserved. What about you, Mrs. Teresa? How was your life? Mrs. Teresa fell in shock by all she heard, but she was more so embarrassed. She was one of the teachers who favored the students belonging to the wealthy class, and in return took favors from their parents, while she gave a hard time to the middle-class students, and especially Kevin. All those years in school, she had looked down on him, and now while he was successful, Mrs. Teresa's life was far from good. She had only pretended to be rich, but in these past years, she had gone through so many ups and downs. Her husband had left her, and now she lived in an old age home. Her son rarely visited her. She didn't have a relationship with him or with anyone, and now was living a lonely, depressing, miserable life. Mrs. Teresa awkwardly looked at Kevin as she said, "I'm all right." "Glad to hear that. I hope you enjoy the party." Kevin then went to catch up with his old friends. "Kevin, my man, you're like really rich. But look at you, you're ripped." Vivian watched him as he spoke to everyone else, but didn't even pass her a glance. "Excuse me? What is it? Are you going to ignore me the whole night?" Kevin turned to see Vivian holding something familiar in her hands. It was the gift he had given her 12 years ago. "You thought I wasn't smart enough, but I solved it. I figured it was you, but you left that night. You kept this all these years? It was the most scientific gift anyone has ever given me. I had to keep it." Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.